let's take a look at dividing fractions by fractions. Okay, so in the last one we looked at dividing whole numbers by fractions. This one we're going to divide fractions by fractions, which is really just one step less than the last one because we don't need to write the whole number as a fraction. So if we had, let's say, 2/3 divided by 1/4, okay, remember we're going to leave the left as it is. We'll change this division to multiplication, and we will multiply by the reciprocal of 1/4. Okay, and while we're doing this, I also want to remind you that in a multiplication problem, right, so this one's division, but if we were doing a multiplication problem, remember not to find the reciprocal. So if the problem were 2/3 times 1/4, we just multiply. So we only find this reciprocal when we're dividing. So 2/3, we're going to find the reciprocal of 1/4, which would be 4/1, and we'll multiply. 2 times 4 equals 8, 3 times 1 equals 3, and 8 divided by 3, as you can see, 3 goes into 8 twice, that's 6. 8 minus 6 is 2, so the answer would be 2 and 2/3. Let's do one more example with this, and then we'll move on to dividing fractions by whole numbers. Okay, so one more fraction by fraction. Let's do 3/4 divided by 5/8. So for this one, again, we're going to leave the left side alone. We're going to change division to multiplication, and we are going to multiply by the reciprocal of 5/8. So we've got 3/4. We are multiplying, and the reciprocal of 5/8 is 8/5. Now let's go ahead and simplify this one beforehand. If we look, I can divide both 8 and 4 by their greatest common factor, which is 4. So 8 divided by 4 is 2, and 4 divided by 4 is 1. That leaves us with 3 times 2, which is 6, and 1 times 5, which is 5. Okay, and then let's do our division problem. 6 divided by 5. 5 goes into 6 one time, that's 5, and 6 minus 5 is 1. So our answer would be 1 and 1/5. Alright, now we're going to do dividing fractions by whole numbers. So for that one, same thing as normal. We'll start our problem out. So let's do 6/7 divided by 15. So like usual, our first step when working with fractions is we want to rewrite our whole number as a fraction. So 15 as a fraction would be 15/1. Now it's just more of the same. So we're going to multiply instead of divide by the reciprocal. So the left side stays the same, that's 6/7. We're going to multiply, and the reciprocal of 15/1 would be 1/15. Again, we can simplify beforehand, so we take 6 and 15, and I can see that their greatest common factor is 3. So 6 divided by 3 equals 2, and 15 divided by 3 equals 5. Then we've got 2 times 1, which is 2, and 7 times 5, which is 35. So 6/7 divided by 15 would equal 2/35. And that is how you divide a fraction by a whole number.